What's up, y'all? It's your man BJ Joyce coming at you live again on the Black Friday show. Let's go ahead and get this all pushed out to Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you like and share the video. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can see that scrolling at the bottom there. Go to YouTube /@ the Black Friday show. We're going to go ahead and talk about what's going on with Denver Juneteenth. That was a big topic of conversation this week, as there was a 9 News article that popped out this week, and we're going to get into that. It became a hot button issue for a lot of people, and they wanted to participate in that conversation. We got a lot of engagement in this post on Facebook, in our Facebook group, in the Colorado Black Owned and Operated Facebook group, as well as just around town, and getting that spread all over the place. So let me go ahead and get this sent out to everybody real quick, and then make sure that you comment while the show's going on. And even after the show is over, we'll be able to respond back to you later on as well. So I wanted to make sure that you're a part of this conversation each and every time we do this, because it's for you and it's for us and it's for making us all better. So let's dive into it. So Denver's Juneteenth Music Festival, is it in danger? Is it? This 9 News article that came out the other day is written by Zavi Gutierrez. I don't know who that is, but whoever wrote it, the journalist. And Zavi wrote this back on April 21st, and he or she, I don't know if that's a male or female, was talking about how the Juneteenth Music Festival that we enjoy every year here in Denver, has been known to be, at times, if it might still be, the largest Juneteenth celebration across the entire country, which is crazy because there's only 4% of Black people in the entire state of Colorado. So for us to have the largest Juneteenth celebration in the entire country at points in this history is wild. It's crazy. It's cool. However, it's normally a 2-day event over the weekend, right? Saturday and Sunday. It's now shifting to a single day this year, according to the JMF, which is Juneteenth Music Festival Corporation, which is the nonprofit behind the annual festival, which is written. And so the reason that they're scaling back, so to speak, the article says, is the loss of several longtime sponsors amid shifting corporate priorities and a changing philanthropic landscape, if I can get the word out. So what does that mean? That means corporate priorities. They don't want to support Black folks anymore. And it could be for a variety of reasons. I'm going to say mostly they're scared to support Black people now because they're being targeted by, or potentially targeted by, the presidential administration. That said, I don't think they ever really wanted to anyway. It does always come down to money. But if you see that they're specifically going after certain things, sponsors are, and they're giving money specifically to those areas, they don't want to go through the hassle of getting sued or any of that kind of stuff, right? So I can see why they're not doing it if that's the case. A changing philanthropic landscape means that there's a lot of other people doing the same thing. Okay, so goes on to say here that it's traditionally a 2-day event. It draws tens of thousands of people from across the state. Even people from out of state come to this to honor the legacy of Black liberation through music, art, and community gathering. And in response to this sudden and unexpected loss of sponsors, they must raise $80,000 to make sure the Juneteenth Music Festival continues and remains free and open to all who want to attend. I'm assuming that's continued this year and remains free, so that we're not directly coming out of pocket for an event to pay to get into, right? Usually you got sponsors. The sponsors are paying for that to advertise to all the people that are going to show up, in hopes that we will eventually buy from them, that we get brand loyalty. Like, hey, look, this business is supporting this festival that I'm at. I'm going to go and do business there. And then it sticks in our mind, and so on and so forth. It's marketing. That's what sponsorship is about, is making sure that people who are around are aware of your brand. And when they need your services, that they contact you instead of your competitor. Does that make sense? That's how sponsorship works. Now, they're short apparently $80,000 to make this happen. I know there's been a lot of, since I made my post the other day, people who are saying that they've donated. Hopefully, that $80,000 is starting to come down. However, it would be nice to see how any other Black businesses can be sponsors. I was checking the website, unless it's changed. Let's see. Juneteenth Music Festival Denver website is juneteenthmusicfestival.com. And I'll put this in here for you all to donate as well in the chat. So let me throw that in there. And bye. There you go. All right. So all donations are tax deductible. You can donate, but what about sponsors? Let's see. If I go to their sponsor page, this might have been updated. It doesn't say how you can become a sponsor. So that, I don't know if there was a cutoff or if there's some other way to be a sponsor, but that would be good to know how to become a sponsor. They have how to become a vendor, and that's if you want to be there selling things at the festival, on the street, that kind of thing. But it'd be nice to know how to become a sponsor. And I know there have been people saying, well, what does all that entail if I become a sponsor? Well, ultimately, you're going to get advertising. That's what becoming a sponsor is. Duh. I mean, it's not like you're like, oh, I'm going to sponsor, and then I don't get any advertising recognition. No, they're going to have packages of advertising based off of the level of sponsorship that you provide. I mean, if that's not clear to you as a person, as a human being who's in business and who has at least lived past 20, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. I am just going to rail on you a little bit because, yes, it's not like you're just giving money and you get nothing in return. They have sponsorship packages. Do I know what those are? I don't. You'd have to contact Juneteenth Music Festival to inquire. So putting those kinds of things in posts on Facebook are kind of weird to me, where you're like, hey, what about this? And what do we get? Well, contact them. Duh. Come on, man. It's like children. But you're adults. It's weird. So anyway, I don't know what the sponsorship packages are. I don't know what you get for certain levels of sponsorship. However, it would be nice to have that on their website. And if it's not on their or I don't know when it could have been, or if they had a cutoff, it's not on there now, but could always reach out if you are interested. They have, let's see, I'm looking at their website right now. You can email them. Oh, wait, that's the vendor one. What about sponsors? Let me go back to sponsors. You can, well, there's no email for sponsorship. Let me see if I go to the home page. There's something there. There is for vendors. So if you want to be a vendor, you can send them an email. I'm going to put the vendor one in there, and I'm sure somebody could get back to you if you were interested in sponsoring at either now, this year, or next year. I'm going to put that in the chat so that you guys can go ahead and email them and just ask about the sponsorships if you're interested in that. And have a conversation. Just because they have certain sponsorship levels today doesn't mean that can't change, and they might not, that they won't be flexible to, you say, look, I ain't got 10 grand, but I can put 2,000 on it. What could I get for $2,000? Right? Or what could I get for $4,000? Right? Like help me, work with me, because I want to make sure that I'm not only a sponsor, but that you guys can get this money to help out with the overall Juneteenth Music Festival making it this year. Right? So all that to say is, going back to this article, let's see, they're talking about, despite the financial setback, the festival will still feature live performances, historic Juneteenth parade, youth zone, health zone, and a showcase of Black-owned businesses. But I want to go back up to this part where it talks about losing the corporate sponsors. It says loss of several longtime sponsors amid shifting corporate priorities and a changing philanthropic landscape. So what does what does that really boil down to? That means white run businesses decided to back out of supporting black folks. And why are we as black people continuing to depend on white salvation? It's a welfare system. Look at it. It's truly welfare. We're begging white people to prop us up instead of going and building for ourselves. Like the Juneteenth Music Festival shouldn't depend on big corporate brands that are white run organizations to function. Black businesses should be sponsoring the Juneteenth Music Festival. And you might say, like, oh, well, look at the cost, look at this, look at that. Okay. Yeah, it's going to cost. You might not have $50,000 as a black owned business. Majority of our black owned businesses aren't large enough that they could drop $50,000 on a corporate sponsorship, right? Not that large. However, okay, mind you, however, you could drop 5,000. Yes, you could. And don't tell me that it's not possible, that small black owned businesses can't do this. It is. It is very possible for you to do this, because what you do at the beginning of your year, or as you're planning your marketing for the year, you factor this into that. You say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be at the Juneteenth Music Festival. And you set those dollars aside to market there, in addition to all the other marketing activities that you're doing. You say, well, BJ, I sell waist beads or body butters. Yeah, we're not talking about you. Okay, like I listen. If your business is a side hustle, we're not talking about you. Okay, you're not. How do I say this nicely? I can't. Side hustles are not businesses. They're not. Okay. Your business should be providing your full livelihood. You shouldn't be working at a job and trying to run a side hustle that you're calling a business. And that's how you're continuing to pay bills. You're either all in on this business and it's providing for you, your family, so on and so forth. Now we're talking you're in business, not you're in side hustle. Now, you might have to work a job and side hustle that thing until you can get it to that level and where you can quit your job and be full-time into that business. But if you're side hustling, we're not talking about you, okay? Yeah, you're not going to be a sponsor. We understand that, okay? But the established businesses, black-owned businesses that are out there where it is a legitimate, this is your livelihood business and you're growing it. You might be the solopreneur, or you might have a few employees. Those businesses are the ones that should be sponsors, not vendors. There's a difference. Sponsors of the Juneteenth Music Festival. And you might say, well, we don't have a ton of those. Well, here's the thing. When y'all gonna start having conversations with the organizers of the Juneteenth Music Festival and saying, listen, this is where I'm at. I could put something on it, but I can't jump into the top tier gold or platinum sponsorship level. Okay, cool. Sponsor at these lower levels, like, and tell them, can you open up more? Because we could get more black-owned businesses that may not be able to, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 in terms of sponsorship, but we could put 5, 10, maybe even 20 on it, right? A couple of different businesses. And you could get, I don't know, 100 black-owned businesses that put in 5 or 10,000 each to sponsor Juneteenth Music Festival. You could. There are legit at least 100 in the entire state. And I'll since obviously Colorado Springs has their own, I'll say this: there are at least 100 black-owned businesses in Denver that could sponsor the Juneteenth Music Festival at a $5,000 level. There are. and there's 500,000 right there. And you could say, oh man, it's these fees and this is that. No, do you realize that they're shutting down at least 4 blocks of basically downtown? I mean, it's not downtown where the big buildings are, but I mean, the 5 Points area is like, it's downtown adjacent ish, right? They're going to shut down 5 blocks or 4 blocks at least. It's at least 4 blocks of Welton Street, a major street pathway. Okay. You don't think that costs some money? Now, all intents and purposes, the next year and for future years, it could be reevaluated as far as where you're going to have Juneteenth Music Festival. Maybe it's not done on the 5 Points anymore. Maybe it's done in a park. You can go over to Curtis Park and you can do it over there. It'd be more affordable. Okay. Maybe it's done at City Park, right? Maybe it's done just somewhere else instead of shutting down a major street in already the third worst traffic in America City of Denver. Okay. Maybe. And that could help reduce some of the costs, right? That might be able to do something. Maybe it's done in City Park. I don't know. Maybe it's done at East. I don't know. It could be done somewhere else. Maybe it's more affordable. But that's not the situation we're in today. Today, it's still planned for the 5 Points, and it still costs a lot of money. Costs money for not only shutting down this street, because you gotta best believe you're gonna pay the city for that. So you gotta pay the city for that. You have to pay for law enforcement and emergency services. Should somebody get hurt or sick or anything like that, there's EMTs standing by. You're gonna have to pay for all of the barricades and all this other stuff that goes into just having the ability to have the event there. Okay. Then you have to recoup that money. You have to pay the people who are putting this on. It's a nonprofit, but there are people that work for that nonprofit. They have to get paid for their work. They're not just doing this for free. There's a lot of work that goes into an event like this. To just do that for free on the side, like, come on. So they have to get paid. So you have to cover those costs as well, right? You have to cover the cost. There's for the vendors who are going to be there. You're getting these tents, those tent rentals. Those aren't cheap. So wherever that is coming from, whoever the vendor is for those tent rentals, those booth rentals or what have you, right? Those things cost. So as a vendor, you're paying not only for that, right? But then you're also paying to be there as well. It's a business expo. It's a showcase for you to be there to sell your wares, your services, whatever that thing is that you're selling, right? So you're going to pay for that. So these things cost. I don't know the total cost of putting on the Juneteenth Music Festival. Oh yeah, there's also the artists, the stage for that, all the technical stuff that goes. So I mean, there's a lot more money that goes into Juneteenth Music Festival. And like I said, I don't know the numbers. I'm sure it's a lot of money. And so yes, unfortunately, because these corporate sponsors, because as a community, as Black people, we keep relying on being bailed out by white folks. It's stupid that we put I'm gonna say it. It's stupid that we put our livelihood or our survivability of either us as individuals, us as a group, our organizations, our festivals, the things that we want, that we are so freaking dependent on another group to do that. It's welfare. Literally, that's welfare. That's what welfare is, right? You take somebody who's on welfare, where are they getting their sustenance? From the government, right? They're not going and doing it themselves. And then what happens if welfare gets cut off? What do I do? Oh my gosh, I'm not getting fed. I'm not going to be able to pay the. You better get your butt up and go get a job. That's what Black people right now need to start doing. We need to get our butts up and pay for the things that we want ourselves through our businesses. So here's the thing, I saw on the Facebook post, and feel free to drop these comments here in the chat too. I want to make sure that I'm responding to you. So in the post I put on Facebook about this whole Juneteenth thing, there's comments in here. Matter of fact, shoot, I might pull some of those up. But there's comments of people saying, hey, you're gonna have to support this black-owned business. And they're talking about their own black-owned business, right? A lot more for me to be able to afford these prices, right? Or if they were to drop $4,000 on a sponsorship, right? Because we're talking, Juneteenth needs 80,000 right now. I was like, hey, that's $8,000 sponsorships, or $24,000 sponsorships, $42,000 sponsorships, however you want to do the math and whatever, right? And that's a valid point. If we go buy from black-owned businesses, they get more money, they build, they grow, they have better buying power, better resources that they can allocate towards things like sponsorships of the festivals and the things, the other nonprofits, the little kids pee-wee football game that you throw your kids into, whatever, all those kinds of things. If we go and support the black-owned businesses, very valid point that person made. Doesn't really help right now because we still need that money for the Juneteenth Music Festival to get on. So make your donation. I put those in the chat. Go contact the vendors at milehighfestivals.com. That's for the vendors, but that was the only email I had that I could find on the JuneTeenthMusicFestival.com website for contact. So contact them if you want to sponsor or to talk about sponsorships there. But let me pull this up. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull this up because I want to. Oh man, it's not gonna let me. Matter of fact, this is how I'll do it. Go back. So I wanted to pull up some of the comments on that, right? So let's type this in. We'll find it. Juneteenth, real quick. Come on now. There we go. So we got 10,600 plus people reached on this. Bunch of people commented. So I love this one from Michael. He says, crazy the amount of questions that get asked, either support or don't. Real talk. I mean, in Colorado Springs, we have a huge 3-day festival and the city cut $150,000 of funding. We're grinding here to make it happen. So they're making it happen in Colorado Springs, despite losing $150,000 from the city that was going to come through. Hathor, I can't tell. Is that a chick? Yeah, it looks like a chick. Says it's a real funny ass. Juneteenth hasn't gave AF about local black businesses. And says who? Who says they don't care about local black businesses? Did they say that? But she goes on and says, in Colorado, the majority of us are small businesses. No, in Colorado, the majority of black-owned businesses are side hustles. I'll clarify that, okay? And y'all been asking for $700 plus a booth fee. Yeah, because they need to cover these costs. Real talk. I understand it's expensive, but $700 plus, seriously, like that's put $70 up per month for the year. Boom. Yeah, there you go. That's $840 that you'll have by the time Juneteenth comes around next year, and you pay your booth. It's really not that hard. 700. I mean, and she goes on to say, knowing full good and well, the majority of us are not going to make that money back. It's not about making the money back right then and there. That's not the point. See, you can tell that she's not business savvy. She doesn't understand business. It's not about making the money back right then and there at the festival. What it is about marketing your business. So yeah, you're going to go there, you're going to set up, you're going to buy, get this booth, you're going to put your stuff out there, whether it's your product, your service, whatever, and you're going to sell whatever it is that you have for that time that you're there at the festival. But the key is to get repeat sales and branding later on. This can't be I'm coming here to make money this week or this weekday, right? That's like, imagine if you were to say, all right, I'm going to put some ads on the radio today, and I have to make the money back all today that I spent on the radio. And I'm only doing it one day. That's not going to happen, right? So this has to be a part of your marketing plan for your company. But if you just side hustling, then yeah, I understand. Like you're not, you know, even as a side hustle though, you still got to get name recognition. You still got to get to the masses. You still have to do something to get out to the people. If you want to buy, I'll say, you want to buy radio, you darn sure ain't got no money for that. All right, you sure ain't got no money for that. TV, nope. Print ads, nope, not gonna happen. So $700 to be in front of few, yeah, tens of thousands of people that could be walking by and see you stop. That's great. That's not bad, actually. But if you, I'll say this, you'll spend probably $700 a day on the radio. $700 a day on the radio. Guess what? Nobody heard your ad. Nobody was paying attention because it's about recency and frequency for marketing. Okay. So they didn't even hear it that day. They're going to have to hear it for 5-6 days in a week before they even just hear your ad. Like, not that it, like the sound isn't going through, but that they, oh, this is that company that, or this is a company that's talking right now. And then they have to be like, oh, do I need this thing that they're selling? Yes or no? Maybe they do right now. Maybe they don't. So then you have to continue to market. You have to, those ads have to keep playing, whether it's on the radio or TV, until they're in that buying mode of, all right, I need a product or service like what they're selling. And then, boom, I'm going to consider them. I might not even buy from them, but I'm going to consider them because I've heard of them. They're the ones who are familiar to me. And I don't have to go and research and try and find other ones. So I'm going to check with them first. That's the consideration set. And hopefully they do come, and then you have to sell them. That's what being at Juneteenth is as a vendor. You have to do that, but you can't just do that. You have to be there in front of those 10,000 people. Then you have to do other marketing things. You have to do this thing, and you have to be all places as much as possible, as frequently as possible for your customer base, for them to ultimately buy from you. Yes, this is being in business takes work. Yeah, it does. You have to think about these things, and you can go and get help too. Matter of fact, you can go get help from this SBDC. We talked about Kellen and some of the other Black consultants over there at the SBDC that you can get free consulting help. Okay, free for your business. All right, whether that's marketing, operations, human resources, accounting and finance, investment, you need to sell your business, you need to buy a business, whatever that is, they can help you for free through the SBDC. And there are Black consultants there, and you can specifically go ask for them. There's also a program right now through OEdit, which we've been talking about. You'll see the ads in the Facebook group where you can go and get free consulting help, and they can help you get your business, the technical assistants get your business right so that you can start getting some funding for maybe some marketing like Juneteenth, so on and so forth. So take advantage of the free help from people who can help you with this your business, help you market, help you come up with plans, help you start doing these things. Here's a couple other. Somebody said donation done. And oh yeah, this person was talking about how many businesses on Welton Street have objected to the festival is the real question. You would think they would all gain from it. They don't, because the street gets shut down. Quiet kept, they hate it. Yep, see? And the treasure's not on the ball, bro. You don't just plan for 1 year, you plan for years down the road, so everything runs smooth. Yep, it's not about that. I want to find, let's see, the prices for a booth are ridiculous. My organization tried to get one. It's really expensive. $700. I mean, what is it? Is $700 or $750? Let's look at what the vendor space is. Apply today. Starts at $525 for a vendor space. Can it be included? If you want to be in the high traffic area, it's $700. So they have $525. If you're a food truck, $925. If you're a food vendor, non-food truck, $875. So if you're like selling cakes or pies or something, you're not a food truck. If you're a high traffic, want to be in a high traffic merchant vendor space, that's $700. And if you want high traffic corner vendor space, merchant food vendor or food truck, doesn't matter who, whatever you want to be, that is $1,375. So it actually starts at $525 for a vendor space. So real talk, I mean, saying the prices for a booth are ridiculous. My organization tried to get one that's really expensive. I bought a booth. Matter of fact, no, I didn't. I'm going to take that back. I was blessed with a booth when I was at the Juneteenth Music Festival. So I actually didn't have to come out of pocket for that, but I did some other things for that. Here we go. However, $525, how much are some Jordans? And I'm going to keep coming back to that, and people are going to keep coming back to that because it's a recurring theme for Black people in America that will go and spend $200 and something on some freaking Jordans, or $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 on some rims for a car, which is an appreciating asset, which means that it's going down in value, not going up. So you bought that and it immediately lost value. So we'll do things like that. And we keep doing things like that. That's why it keeps coming back up and people keep talking about it. But you won't spend $525 to invest in marketing your business. $525. And here's the thing. I saw somebody talk about, hey, BJ, matter of fact, it's the homie. I'll go to that and then I'm gonna come back to this thing. Let me see. The homie said, because this is a larger conversation and we need to actually talk about this. The homie said, can I get it? Can I find it? Can I find it? Come on, where you at? All right, let's be real. There aren't many Black-owned businesses that can even afford to give $8,000 or $4,000. That's a problem, right? We need to talk about that, as that's a problem. Why? Why aren't there that many Black-owned businesses that could throw forth that I could, real talk, I'm not letting y'all in my pockets, but I'm going to let you in my pockets a little bit. As an individual who's not a business owner anymore, I can put $4,000 on this right now. If I wanted to. I'm not going to. Nope, not going to. Because that's not my place to throw $4,000 down on this. But I could as an individual. So why don't we have that kind of money in the Black community? Tell me. Say you're being oppressed. Go ahead. Tell me that. Say we can't get jobs. Go ahead. Tell me that. If you're sitting at home right now, there's a place for you to go work. Guaranteed right now. Go fast food. I don't care. Start. Go somewhere. And then once you have a job, you can go anywhere after that because you have a job. So you can start somewhere, start working, putting some money up. Don't tell me that the man is keeping you down. No, you're keeping you down. And I know y'all don't want to hear that. I know you don't like to hear that because it makes you have responsibility over your own actions. Are there things against Black people, and have there been for hundreds of years? Yes. Are there things against us today in America? Yes. But guess what? There are people that come from other countries that don't even speak the language that we speak here in America, which is English, and they are taking advantage of all these resources and they're coming up. So if they can do that this isn't even the land that they were born in, and they're coming here, not even speaking the language, and they're taking advantage of the resources that we're born into, even though there's these things against us, there's things against them too. And there are different things. I understand that. But they're coming and they're taking advantage of free resources. They're taking advantage of things that are actually carved out for us as Black people, and they're coming to get it, and they're getting it. We need to do the same. So why aren't we developing businesses that have $4,000, that are putting $4,000 up, that are making enough money? Why aren't we supporting our businesses so that they can generate enough revenue so that they can grow and have that kind of money? That's a bigger conversation that lends into this. If we were doing those things, right? Instead of you going and being like, oh, we're not going to shop here. We're that's too far. Or, Black people this, and, like I'll do it like kind of as a courtesy when I can. If you were intentional, you and I were intentional and went to these Black-owned businesses and patronized them for their services and their products, the things that we're going to get anyway, and we bought from them, they could hire, they could grow, they could expand, they could generate more revenue. They would then have the ability to put money into things like this, like we talked about earlier, whether it's Juneteenth or whether it's your kids' little peewee football program, or whether it's the, an organization that's doing stuff to keep kids out of gangs and reduce violence, whatever it is that we need for the Black community, which I've been talking about for at least 5 years with y'all now, since 2020, then as we support our Black businesses grow, they support us back, we keep the money within the community and it stops going outside of it, and then we don't have to be dependent on other people to help us because we are helping us. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up, like this, or put in the chat, like, yeah, that makes sense, B. Something. Let me know that y'all following me here, because real talk, right now we've been welfare in terms of Juneteenth. We've been dependent on welfare, and we do it with all these other organizations too. Y'all doing. I hear y'all like crying about like Donald Trump's doing this, Donald Trump's doing that, and look, we're not going to get the money from the white people anymore. Again, why do we continue to beg for crumbs from white people instead of pull ourselves up? And I know like that whole bootstrap thing, we don't have straps. I get it. Right? I understand the whole like, yep, white people could go ahead and pull themselves up out of their bootstraps. But the problem is you keep thinking that they're going to give you bootstraps. Collectively, that's what we keep doing. It's like, hey, white people, just give us some bootstraps. It ain't happening. Go and make some somehow. Go and, pull some, string some leaves or not some leaves, some grasses together, braid that joint up, right? And start weaving that through your shoes as some shoelaces, right? Now you got you some bootstraps. All right, now let's go. Now your boots are strapped up. Now let's go do something else. Let's build on to the next thing. Nipsey said you put one brick down every day. Before you know it, you got a wall. Got to start somewhere. But stop. We can't continue to be dependent on white society, white corporations to do for us for the things that we want, like this Juneteenth Music Festival. And so they're in a situation now because they haven't been invested in from a sponsorship level by Black-owned businesses. They went out to go get those sponsorships from where they could, when they could get them. And now those things got cut. And look at the situation we're in now. They're now moving it from a 2-day event to a 1-day event. And there's still $80,000. Well, I don't know, like since the other day, there might have been some donations, might be some people coming through. And real talk, $80,000 isn't that much money. It's not that much money. It isn't. I mean, as an individual, like me and you, like $80,000, that's a lot of money. But for all intents and purposes, $80,000 is not that much. Like, it's just like $80,000. Real. Like, seriously. That's what I said. Like, 10 people with $8,000. And believe me, there are 10 people out there. There are 10 Black people out there that have there's 10 Black people that got $80,000 that they could give. And I'm talking about here in Denver, that they could give and wouldn't even think twice about. Like, it wouldn't affect them, anything that they have going on at all. Literally. They could give $80,000 each. And it'd be like, okay. They could. Are they going to? I don't know. Got to find them and talk to them about it. Got to find out, like, what's up with that, right? Like, could you make a donation? Sure. Here's the thing, though. A lot of people don't want to just throw $80,000 on keeping a music festival together. You know, like I said, I could throw some money down, but I'm not going to throw that much money down just to be like, hey, you know, like I'm going to save this. And then what happens next year when it does, like, nothing changes, or you guys, as far as like businesses, aren't able to sponsor it? Now you're going to continue to depend on just me as an individual to support this thing. You know, it has to be something that the community really wants and that the community is invested in making happen. Like Cinco de Mayo. You don't hear anything about Cinco de Mayo, do you? You know why? Because them Latinos, them Mexicans are like, look, our stuff gonna run. We gonna support our stuff. And they do. They do. They support their things. And they make it happen. What about Black people? When are we gonna do that? Here, let me get back to this. So this dude said, where is he at? Let me get back up here. He was talking about, I'm gonna need y'all to support this Black business, his business, a whole lot more before I can drop $4,000 to support a festival. The organizers should come up with other ways to generate revenue. Yeah. I mean, I mean, I don't know however else you could try and generate revenue. I mean, you could be creative. You could start, again, they're trying to keep this free for people to just show up instead of, all right, we have the Juneteenth Music Fest and you got to pay to get in. I mean, if you want to pay to get in, you could, and then they could get money that way. And then at the community, right, if y'all don't pay to get in, that will show y'all don't really want it. And you'd be like, oh man, it could be this expensive and blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you right now, Denver Burger Battle, for the bare minimum, right? And yeah, you getting food, but it's only like a 2-3 hour event. 2-3 hour event, Denver Burger Battle is. Every year they have it. It's like $70 to get into that thing without the fees. I think with the fees, like the ticket fees that they put on top of those things, which I think is stupid anyway. I think that comes out to, like, I'll just say $80. $80 a ticket. Okay. For 3 hours. 3 hours. So hypothetically, let's say Juneteenth charged, I don't know, $30 a ticket. Y'all gonna be like, man, it's $30 to go to Juneteenth. Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. You'll cry about it. I know you will. I know you will. You'll be like, it's so expensive. But people go to Denver Burger Battle and it sells out. That place is packed and it sells out every single year. At the minimum, it's 80. They have higher tiers, but the minimum, we're talking $80 when you count in the ticket sale fees. So if that is getting supported, and that's not even a cultural thing, it's just burgers. You just go eat burgers, right? This is something that we want to celebrate to promote the fact that Black people were freed in America from bondage. From physical bondage, I'll say that. We're still mentally bound because we keep doing these kinds of things. But physical bondage, we were freed. And we have the ability to go out here and live life the way that we see fit. So if that place can be sold out, Denver Burger Battle can, at $80 a ticket, y'all better come up with, I don't know, $30. Even if they made it $20. I know y'all cry, it's so expensive. You talk about, I got to spend $20 for me, $20 for so-and-so. And then my kids, maybe there's a kid's price and it's like $5 for kids. Kids, I got 3 of them. So look at how much money I'm spending. Look, this is 55 something dollars. You'll go to the movies and drop more than that. Come on, get popcorn and candy and like your tickets for the movie. Get out of here. So when people fight back about these prices, I'm just like, really? Come on. So they could do that and they could charge for us to go to Juneteenth. Will you pay it? And if you don't, it'll show, hey, I guess we really don't need it or really don't want it. right? Because you put your money where your mouth is. We're a whole lot of talk out here in these streets, these Facebook and social media streets, right? We talk a big game, but where's our money? Where's our money going? Are we putting it up, or are we just shutting up? We're shutting up. That's been the trend, because here we are, right? I would love to see y'all make some donations. I don't care. $5, $10, 20, 100, 1,000. Go ahead. Make some donations Juneteenth. Have a conversation. Get some community organizers together. I don't know. Or just you as a business, or you as an individual. Contact the Juneteenth Music Festival and talk about how you could support them in making this different for next year, making it more affordable all around. Give them your ideas. Doesn't mean that they're going to use them. Doesn't mean they won't. But maybe have the conversation. Maybe a couple of people can get together and y'all can go as a 5-10 person group. Contact Juneteenth. Say, hey, look, we have 10 business owners here. We want to talk to you about next year's Juneteenth and how it can be better for Black-owned businesses, how we can plug in and support to make this thing work. Not in a mean way, or like you're stupid, or like we're mad that you've done these things, or that we have to jump in here. No, that's the community then being community. Why are we so afraid to have conversations with one another, to build, to grow, to be better for us? I'm sure they'd be like, hey, yeah, tell us what you want. We're getting some feedback from businesses. Finally, the Black business community is deciding to plug in. We've been waiting for you. I don't know. That might be the reaction. Thank you. Come through. Let's have a conversation. Let's sit down. Let's talk. What are your ideas? What thoughts do you have? How could we make this thing so that it benefits your businesses and then the Black people that we're trying to do this for? So it's a celebration of this particular day, so that not only do Black people have the ability to participate and get love and get their sponsorships and all of these things, but then all people can come from all over. Doesn't matter if they're Black, white, Latino, Indian with the dot or the feather, Asian, I don't care, Arab, green from Mars, whatever. They can come and celebrate this too. But the benefit goes to Black people from sponsorships and from selling of your goods and services at the street fest and all that stuff. Right? That the benefit of the recognition of the day doesn't get lost, and that continues for Black people and all people, that we understand where that's coming from and what's happening with that. Huh? Good ideas? Maybe some folks could do that. Maybe. Y'all just contact Norman Harris. He's the man in charge. He can make it happen. Y'all just get a hold of him and talk to him and say, hey, Norm, let us help. Put us in the game, coach. And I'm sure Norm will take that help. I'm sure he will. He's a smart guy who wants to do things for the community. Yeah, some of these other comments. This guy, Sultan, he says, it's time that we turn the seven principles of Kwanzaa, not just to be celebrated, observed, and put to use in the last week of December. I'm like, yeah, bro, for real. That's how we're gonna build. He's talking about unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, which is Ujama, purpose, creativity, and faith. Yes. We as Black people need to start doing these things on a regular, not just being like, oh, let's celebrate Kwanzaa the last week of December and woo. No, it should be every day. Let's go. Let's build. Stop being dependent on white people. Oh, and your donation is a tax write-off. So if you do donate to the Juneteenth Music Festival, that is a tax write-off. I just want to re-clarify that for everybody. Let's see. Yep, 420 at Raleigh at Civic Center was lit. So 420 is getting supported, right? The people support the 420. Are the people going to support the Juneteenth, right? Let's see. Yeah, somebody said charge $5 at the gate this year, then boom, funds are secured for 2026. Problem is they don't have gates. It's not gated. It's open, right? So it's not closed off. If they closed it off, that's going to cost more money because now you have to fence in blocks, right? Of and that's a lot. That's a lot more money because the fencing is going to cost. And then you have to monitor like people coming in, coming out, that kind of thing, right? Who paid, who didn't, and you have to collect. So there are logistical issues with just saying, hey, charge at the gate. $5. Yeah. Now you can make an appeal to people and say, hey, look, we got people coming around, make a donation, throw $5 in. You can scan the QR code, Cash App us, Venmo, go later and whatever, and drop $5 in for being here. Will people do it? Maybe, maybe not. But that's an idea. Yep. I mean, we'll take it. Those are ideas. Man, imagine if everyone just donated $5. Like in this group alone, we would raise over 160. Yeah, true. Thanks for that, Brittany. Brittany, if everybody just donated $5, yeah, they from 30,000 plus people, 33,000 people in the Facebook group. Not everybody's going to do that, but yes, it could raise a lot of money. Do people really want to just give money? Do they? Maybe there could be a different kind of push. I mean, you could get creative. You could even go to the schools and to kids and just say, hey, look, we're going to talk about this. This is what Juneteenth is. This is the festival. This is what we do. We donate to the festival to make sure it runs. And you start building that in kids. And kids don't necessarily, like, you're not pushing it on kids, but hey, take this to your mom and dad, share this with them, make sure that, that could be a donation. I don't know. Get involved. Like, there's a variety of different things for fundraising, so on and so forth, that can be done. But I guess like the ultimate point here, the bigger point, and then I'm going to get out of here, is that for the things that benefit us, the things that are for us as Black people, if we don't support them, if we don't take advantage of them, we're not going to have them. Look at how quickly and easily that this has changed for us. And now white people are not giving money for us, for our welfare. We need to stop being dependent on other ethnic groups for our survival. When we are, guess what? They control us. We are controlled. We are. As a group, as an ethnic group, we are controlled because we are dependent on another ethnic group. We need to cut the cord, become self-sufficient, independent. Integration is not a benefit for us. No one else, no other group has integrated into white America. Think about that. No other group has integrated into white America. They live in white America, but they didn't integrate. And here we are. Oh, integration. No, it's bad for Black people. We don't need to integrate. We need to get the F out, aggregate and congregate amongst ourselves, and live here like everybody else does, and then build for us. Okay? Support Black businesses. Go and buy from them. We try to post. That's why we have this Facebook group, Carl Black owned and operated / operated business Facebook group. Okay, 33,000+ people in there looking to find and buy from Black owned businesses here in the state of Colorado. And then those Black owned businesses are promoting whatever they have. Go buy from them, prop them up, tell them thank you, tell them why you're supporting them. Not only that they're Black, but hey, they have good products, they have good services, whatever that is, right? And tell them you want them to succeed, you want them to do well, and you're pushing for them. And then tell them, hey, you should make a donation to the Juneteenth Music Festival for their business tax write-off. They could donate. Or, hey, you should be a sponsor at the Juneteenth Music Festival next year or whatever, right? And say, hey, look, That would be great. That would, I think you would get more business, and they would if they were doing that. Imagine if Juneteenth Music Festival, like right now, I'm going to tell you, because here's the marketing and advertising piece that these sponsors are about to get right now because they're on here. Bonfils Stanton Foundation, they're a gold sponsor. Coors Light is a gold sponsor. 5 Points Business Improvement District is a gold sponsor. Silver sponsors, Center for Community Wealth Building, Excel Energy, okay? The media partners, Denver 7, ABC News, Colorado Public Radio. The Block Party sponsors, CHFA, I forget what that is, Colorado Health something or other, and Kaiser Permanente are the Block Party sponsors. Bronze sponsors, Albertsons, Alpine Bank, Aya Foundation. That's the only Black-owned foundation or Black foundation, all right, period, that we have is the Aya Foundation. And guess what? They're a sponsor. Woo! But that's the first Black organization on here. Yep, first Black organization that's sponsoring. First Bank is a bronze sponsor. Visit Denver is a bronze sponsor. UC Health and US Bank. And then you get to community partners, which is the Rocky Mountain Microfinance Institute. Those are the only sponsors. That's it. Here, let's count them. I'm going to count the paid ones because the media sponsors I guarantee aren't paid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And Rocky Mountain Microfinance might be probably not, since it's a community partner, not a sponsor. But 14 businesses, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's it. And only one of those is Black, and it's a foundation. It's not even a business. That's it. 14 sponsors. Imagine if there were 50 sponsors and additional to what's on there, and they were Black businesses. Juneteenth now runs. Where y'all at? Let's do this. We can. Si se puede. Throw it in there as well. We can. I know we can. All right? We can do this. Let's do it. Be intentional. Go support those Black-owned businesses. Tell them you want to see them sponsoring or organizations like the Juneteenth Music Festival, or name that other nonprofit, that Black nonprofit, right? Tell the Black businesses, hey, look, I love you. Glad you're here. I would appreciate if you were sponsoring an organization that's near and dear to me because they do good work, blah, blah, blah. Tell them. They hear it. They hear it enough. Eventually, they're going to they don't have to, right? They don't have to that particular one. Maybe they care about some other one. That's okay. But tell them, hey, I would love to see you supporting this. You hear it enough. Again, remember that marketing, recency and frequency. I told you, hear it enough. Maybe we should sponsor that. Maybe we should donate, tax write-off. We have to do a little bit of work to get the things that we want. Yes, we're going to have to do that. It's not going to be handed to us. It's not being handed to any of these immigrants that are coming over here, whether they're illegal or whether they're legal, that are coming over here and taking advantage of America. We need to take advantage of America. We're born here. We are native Black Americans, and we need to take advantage of the things that are here for us. All right. It's your man, BJ Joyce, on the Black Friday show. Make sure y'all hit that Drive and Thrive golf tournament. That's a Black golf tournament, by the way, from the Black Economic Success Trust. Go jump into that. You can register, as well as there's the Black Economic Success Trust Summit the following day in June. So June 5th is the golf tournament. June 6th is the summit with the Business Expo. You could be a vendor there as well. It's $300 to be a vendor, as well as you can just go and participate, register, and be a part of the overall summit. You got ads going through the Facebook group about that. I'll throw some stuff in the links here in the chat so that you can go to that here as well. Matter of fact, here's the Success Summit. Here's this one. It's a 4-day event. And then the golf is, if you want to register for golf, or if you want to be a sponsor for the golf, you can do that too. Sponsor this, because we need you to be sponsors of the Black Golf Tournament. We also need you as Black golfers to come golf in the Black Golf Tournament. So throwing that out there. You got discounts the more people that you have in your golf team. So, you got a single level, and then doubles get a little discount, triples get a discount, and then foursomes get even more discount, right? So threw those in the chat there for you. It's the Black Friday show. Like, share out the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as our Facebook group, and I'll catch y'all next time. Donate to the Juneteenth Music Festival if you can. Love y'all. Peace.